My name is Alvina Atkinson, and I teach at Gwinnett College. I've been using ALEKS since the fall of 2007, so that's about 6 years. We use ALEKS in our developmental math course. We basically have one course where all the students at various levels go into this classroom. Some of them may place in a traditional beginning algebra or an intermediate algebra, but we place them in one course. We try to keep the class sizes really small. When we first started, we had about 15 students max per class, and that allowed the instructor the ability to go and work with those students on an individual basis. So the course is self-paced because the students are at varying levels, and they are able to work one-on-one with their instructor to move through their pies in ALEKS. They're able to re-enroll in the course if they don't finish. At that time, they had about 3 semesters. Right now, we do also have 3 semesters that they have to complete the course. Because our schools has grown over the years, we have doubled our class size, and we've tried to place a tutor in every class so that the tutor and the instructor can meet the needs of those students and work with them one-on-one while they're working in ALEKS. ALEKS has affected our classes in a big way. First of all, the students really like this opportunity to see what they don't know and then learn it at their own pace. Some students are a little bit intimidated, but what we really enjoy about the ALEKS product is that it's so different than what the students have experienced in their high school preparation. And in many ways, their high school preparation has failed them because here they are faced with taking our developmental course. So many of them that are a little apprehensive about it, they begin to, I just tell them to dive in and really give it a shot. And they find out that this new way of learning is actually better. It's helping them to retain it, which that was a big problem in their previous preparation, because here they are in developmental, and I don't know, they just seem to really enjoy doing what they do when they're using ALEKS. When we started using the ALEKS product, we started doing the research just to see how our students were performing in the next course, which on our campus is college algebra. And what we found is that the students who would go through our developmental math course using ALEKS seemed to be performing better than those students who placed into college algebra. So one of my colleagues and I, we were just sitting down talking about that. And I happened to have a course where I was using ALEKS at the time, and I noticed that I was working with some students, and many of them had like one problem to do in a topic, before they learned it. Or they might have 2 problems left to do in that topic. And so I was sitting there wondering, like, why is it that, they have this one problem? And then I realized that ALEKS was sort of building their understanding. It didn't give them sort of an algorithmic problem where they could just mimic, oh, if I multiply these 2 numbers, I'm going to get the right answer. Or if I divide these 2 numbers, I'm going to get the right answer. Because that's what they had to do in the previous problem. And so what I realized is that because it sort of changed the problem that they were working on, sort of like mimicking what I would do as an instructor, It would give them one problem where, let's say if they were solving a percent problem, the percent problem would be, you know, blank percent of blank equals blank. Well, in most of the algorithmic programs or other products that I've seen, you know, when you choose that problem, the blank is always in the same spot. So the student would then realize, oh, if I just divide these two numbers, I'm going to get the answer to that blank. But what ALEKS would do is, for the second iteration of that problem that they had to work, it would force them to understand the content in a way that now it wasn't this number that was blank, it was that number. And so you really had to understand the setup of the problem to get both questions correct. Otherwise, you'd be left with one problem you still didn't do, or maybe two problems that you didn't do. And so I think as mathematicians, we see those problems as the same because it's the same model. Blank percent of blank equals blank. And so the students, however, you know, they understand that, wow, there's a difference when you change things around, and I can't just sort of mimic what was done in the previous problem. I actually am forced now to understand the actual concept that's being taught. And so I really like that ALEKS links those problems together so that it really makes certain that the student understands the concept and not just mimicking what it did previously.